Okay, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, absolutely no idea how to fly this aircraft, but we're going to give it a go anyway, and see how it works. So basically, I've just jumped in, and it does look quite stunning from the outside, and it looks pretty good. So we're going to just try and get in the air and see how it goes. Right, so let's just mind your ears, because this is going to nip outside, and have a look how we get to the runway from here. Okay, so it looks like how do we get to the runway from here? Okay, right, so we're basically there, thankfully sort of facing the right way, so we need to go around there, and okay, and there's the runway over there. Cool, right, that's not so bad. So let's do that then. Okay, right, let's get back in the cockpit. So, I think this is the handbrake. Okay, so for this one I've got the controls on. Oh my goodness. I've got full brakes on at the moment and it's not really working. Okay, there we go. Okay, you've got 3 pretty powerful engines on this beast. Can't really see too much. You can press spacebar to look over the top here, but there's not much to see. Okay, how do you, so you have to be careful with the brakes because it goes over. Right, okay, so planning is needed with this. So how do you see where you're going? So basically then you just have to look out this left hand side out here, and then this basically shows you how to go, and so you need to gently brake. Okay, and then around we go on the brakes on the left rudder to get us round. Pick up the center line. This is crazy. Okay, so the brakes aren't that great. Okay, so let's give it a little bit of power. So we go round again. Here we go. Right, take it a bit slower. There we go. And we're lined up now. Jolly good. Right, so let's get the brakes on. Whew. Just getting there was a struggle. So we're going to take off. I have no idea where the rudders are at this stage. So we'll actually, let's just check to see if my flaps work. Ah, yeah, look, so there's the flap indicator there. So this is good news. So, okay, we can check the flaps down and up. so that's good. Now let's just check the trim. Where would the trim wheel be? Maybe there isn't a trim. There must be a trim. Okay, maybe that needs to be assigned. So we'll figure that out as we go. Right, okay, so let's see what happens then. So let's do brakes off and see what happens. What a giggle this is. So toe brakes on, parking brake goes off. And so what we're going to look is keep the side of the runway out there because we can't see a damn thing out the front because this is whirly thing. Okay, 50% throttle. And the engine sounds great. And let's get rolling. So just keeping, oh my goodness. Why? Why? So, right, obviously we need to be back. What? That can't be right. How did that take off? I wasn't even at full power. No idea. Okay, right. Don't stand much hope of landing this thing, I don't think. So flaps are up. So why? Right, let's just get the trim sorted. There we go. Okay, so we're going to do left-hand circuits. My goodness. Okay, so that didn't really make a lot of sense at all. So let's press B to get the barometer setting. So where's the altitude indicator? Okay, let's just fly this round and see if we can get back on the ground. Oh my goodness, no visibility there at all. Okay, fair enough. We can do this. We can do this. I'm supposed to be a pilot. I have no idea how to fly this thing at all. Right, okay, round we go then. And hopefully we can get the runway somewhere in view at some point. Right, okay. Round we go. So basically I just took off on, must have been just half throttle. It didn't make much sense at all. So anyway. Yeah, so Philip, yeah, it seems really twitchy. Look, I'll basically move it up and down. The trim seems to work. I've got the honeycomb yoke, and it seems to work out of the box on that setting. So, but it's quite laggy, the trim. It doesn't. I'm guessing there's a trim wheel somewhere, but I don't really know where that is. So basically, what we're going to try and do is get round and doing touch and go or something. So, but it's yeah. I mean, it flies. I think the engine sounds are great. I don't know what that's coming like across on the stream, but I think it's good. I think so. Trying to figure out where I am. Let me just see if I can. Yeah. So we should see the airport. There we go. Right, okay, so we're going to be parallel to the runway shortly. That's good. Right, okay. So our heading then is apparently north. So is it heading north? About 314. According to my iPad that I've got going. So we want to be heading a bit further down there. So we're parallel with the runway. Ah, right, okay, cool. Downside of the seat. For some reason it's... why is that not moving? Ah, there we go, there we go. Right, there we go. So let's just see if the trim... Yeah, so I'm using the buttons on the throttle now. So that's definitely working, so that's good. Thanks ever so much, Philip. Basically, the PA28 that I fly, that's where the trim is as well. So so it looks like the runway is it's like Dublin runway information. So we're right, okay. You just can't see anything out there at all. Right, let's try and pay attention now and try and get back in control of this beast. Right, so basically what we need to do is follow the river for a few miles, probably about 5 miles, and then we can turn on to final. Yeah, so I just took off so quick from when I'm really not sure what happened. It just seemed to just leap off the runway. But I mean, this thing's got 3 engines and really big wings, so I guess that's not surprising. Right, okay, so we're I don't know what we've got here. Let's have a look, see. So basically, I've tried to set up some views outside, and it looks pretty good, I think. Look at that. So still following the river at the moment. You see that I'm just flying with that underneath. And okay, so let's just throttle back a bit. Okay, and we'll have 1 stage of flaps, see if we can slow ourselves down a little bit. And I think we might need to hopefully click that away. Does that go? Does the yoke not go? Ah, okay. Don't know why that's not there. So I think, is that saying 4,000 feet? That doesn't look right. Why won't that click away? Right, okay, let's focus on trying to bring this into touchdown. Another stage of flap. Right, so I'm guessing we want to be about 100 knots when we actually finally get round, so I need to check this out. Yeah, it's a cracking looking aircraft, isn't it? Look at that. Right, so I've got to be careful I don't stall here. So hopefully the runway there we go, look, runway. Always good to see the runway. Right, so we're less than 150 knots. Let's just trim up a bit. Hopefully we can trim some of that speed out. Throttle back a bit. Another stage of flaps. Another stage of flaps, so we're full flap now. No idea how this is going to go. It feels like there's quite a wind actually. I'm on live weather, so I should probably have had a look at that before I started. Alright, so. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get round. So too high at the moment. So I think basically I've just got to keep everything in this left window here. Okay, so it looks like 150 knots, that looks way too fast. Let's power back. Now it's a tricycle thing as well, so no idea how this is going to land. Power off. And back on the elevator. Okay, full throttle. Yeah, see, it's very tetchy. Okay, balance the rudder pedals a little bit. Gently add the power. Full power. Look at that, she just jumps in the air. And up we go. Trim for the climb. Check flaps are up, flaps are up. Textbook landing. You have my eyes shut. So we're going to go around, we're going to do some circuits and just see how this pans out. So try and get it a little bit better. So let's check the heading now. So the heading says that we're heading something like 10. Okay, so wow, 95 I guess. Should have done a bit more research before doing this. So on the climb out then, everything's looking good. Let's have a look outside the aircraft. Look at that, it's looking fantastic. Looks really good. Okay, so on the climb out then, so we're going to look right, look up, look left, and gradually make the turn. A bit of left rudder, but there's so many engines here. So on the PA28, you just have to balance the rudder a little bit when you make the turn. But obviously with this, there's so many engines. I don't know if they're contra-rotating or all rotating the same way. That'd be interesting to find out. Okay, so we'll make a nice turn here. There we go. That's high enough for our little circuit, I think. And just try and get settled in a little bit to fly in this aircraft and try and identify where some of the controls are. I wonder why I can't click off the... oh no, no, don't want to do that. That's the rudder adjustment apparently. Okay, right, let's go downwind. So Delta Hotel, Delta Alpha Lima, we are turning downwind. So just to let everybody know. That is such a limited view there. Okay, so last time we followed the river. So let's see if we could, there's the river, look. So there's the river we've got there. So we'll follow the river again. Yeah, you know, I think you're probably right. I think you probably could, and I suspect people have flown this plane. I know it was quite common during the war when there was problems with rudders being shut off and stuff, aircraft being flown on engines and stuff like that. It's just absolutely amazing how people can do that kind of stuff. Right, so I think we're a little bit lower this time. So let's just gain a little bit of height. So ramp up the engines. And just gain a little bit of height there. We don't want to go too high, otherwise we'll never get it back down again. So let's just check that we're actually still following the river. Yep. So there's the river just outside the left window there, and just throttle back a little bit, get the picture right in the window. Here we go. Okay. So we're going way too fast, but that's fine. We've got plenty of time to slow things down a bit. So nose has dropped a bit, so we need to make sure that that's a bit more consistent. I'm not convinced the trim's that great, actually. Maybe we need a bit more juice. Okay, so we're not absolutely parallel with the... Okay, so what's happening there? Oh, there we go. No, okay. I've tried to set up a couple of cameras on the outside, but it's not gone particularly well, so bear with me on that. So right, let's start to slow this beast down. Throttle back a bit, nose up, let's have one stage of flap. And we need to do a nice 180 curve. So just look in there, hope to get a Nice standard turn. A little bit of rudder there just to bring us round. Keep the nose up on the horizon. That's a little bit too tight actually. What we need to do is follow that curve of the river round a bit, I think. And the runway is just off to the left there, so. Right, okay, let's see if we can pull off another landing. It feels like she's dropping a little bit, so we'll have a little bit more juice. Okay, and round we go. You should see the runway come into view shortly. Second stage of flap. And there goes runway. Third stage of flap. Oh, we're high this time. Okay, so let's power back. Oh, this is high, right, so I'm going to have to side slip this in a little bit. Okay, so bring this round. Got full flap. Really wouldn't want to do a turn like this with full flap. Okay, so definitely fast. Let's drop, bring the nose up, power off, nose up. Don't want to stall it, and then down we go. So we slowed down. So we're too high. So we'll just side slip this in a little bit. Well, this is going to be lucky to pull this off. I think there's complaints coming from the passengers. This is fast. Okay. Flaps up. And something very not quite realistic about this takeoff speed. I'm literally back on tick over and the aircraft's taken off. That's bizarre. Let's just have a look at the throttles. Oh, maybe not. If I use the right lever, we'll be in a good place. Okay, off we go. Round the circuit, we'll do another circuit. Yeah, rifle sight on the dashboard, absolutely. And yeah, very strange. There's a lot of weird, I mean, this is late 1930s instrumentation, because this is the original version. And I mean, I love it, it's funky, there's a lot of good stuff. We'll do another circuit, then we'll buzz off out the circuit and try and set up the cameras and have a little look on the aircraft, and then come back into land in a short while. Okay, so full throttle on the climb out then. And nice gentle turn round. So we want a nice standard rate turn. Just check the flaps are up. Flaps are up. Look at that. It's fantastic, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so what we do here is head to the shoreline, then make a turn, and then follow the river. So coming up on the shoreline. Right, we can throttle back a little bit because we're quite happy with that as a height for this, I think. Okay, now follow the river down, which is just there. And and this time we're going to follow the river round on the turn. There you go. Okay, so I mean, it's actually, it's nice to fly, but it's very strange. It might have been me with the throttle on the landing last time, so let's try this. I think I've got one of the, I've got the throttle quadrant from Cytec, and I use the middle lever as the trim, and I think I might have got a bit excited and I was turning the trim back instead of the throttle for the last landing, so let's see if we can get it right this time. So there's this funny thing here in the front. I'm not sure if that's oil pressure or whether it's water pressure, water temperature. Not sure. Need to look at that and find out what that is. It's quite an interesting thing. Okay, so following the river then, and that's going to arc round, and I think if we follow that round, and then so we follow the river, and then then we join the motorway, I think, and follow that, and then there's Dongsley Castle, I think, which is a visual reference point. So we'll try that and see what we get from that. I tell you, oh god, look, I don't think I've had the sounds up for the. Let's have a look. See if we can get the sounds up a little bit more. Oh yeah. Right, okay, so what we're looking to do is follow this river and then make the turn. Right, okay, so if we turn here, we should be about right. So first stage of flap down. Let's just follow the river a little bit more. We turn too early, I think we're going to be doomed. Doomed, Captain Mainwaring, doomed. Okay, second stage of flap then. Let's just lift the nose, bleed off the speed a little bit. Have a sip of tea. And round we go. Right, it's going to be a tight turn. Let's get the flaps out. Oh dear, not very well lined up at all. Never mind, keep going, keep going. It's really awkward not being able to see out the left window there. Okay, so okay, right, might have pulled this one back. Okay. So I think the reason why I took off quite quickly again just now is because my speed was just so high. Okay, here we go, here we go. Watch the landing zone. Throttle goes idle. Floaty, floaty. Oh, there you go. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Not quite. Yeah, see, it's just, it's very twitchy. Right, gently on the throttle because it reacts. Left rudder, left rudder. Balance it. 1 potato, 2 potato, which is the way of getting a tail dragger off the ground. Okay, here we go. There we go. And we're off in the air again. Okay, so we're going to just get airborne and go and get a bit of height and go and have a look over Dublin and then just change some of these cameras, see if I can get some different camera views. So, right, so let's check the flaps are up. Yep, flaps are up. And I think that other thing, is that trim? Yeah, it is. There's the trim. Right, okay, that's helpful. There we go. So, there we go. So we're climbing at the moment at 500 feet per minute. How do we turn off the joystick in the... How do we turn off the joystick? Any ideas, anyone? So it doesn't show. Is it perhaps down here? Yoke visibility. There we go. See? You just got to click a few things. Right, okay, so how are we doing then? Right. Let's have a look at what we got here. Kilometers an hour or kilometers. Okay. So let's just bring the nose up a bit. So we've got a bit more of a climb rate. Let's have a look. So what does that give us? That's too high. There we go. Or too steep a pitch. There we go. So we'll try and keep that. And then we'll head out over to Dublin, which is just off to my right, I believe. Right, let's have a look, see if we can change some of these pictures or the views. So that's a great view. Right, we got one there. No, we haven't got one there. Let's have a look. So if we come along here. And then I think we need to come back out like that. Okay. And then, right, okay. Because these views have to be set up for each aircraft that you fly. So right, okay, that's good. Right, so now then let's have a look around to the right. Yeah, oh, it is a bit strange, isn't it, some of these things? I wonder whether it was the fuel gauge. I saw Gripperson was flying this earlier on. I think he pointed it out, and it's I mean, you know, it's almost fail-safe, isn't it, really, that the pilot can't miss the fuel level. So, you know, it's quite a good thing, really, I guess. Right, so let's have a little look, see what the viz is like. Okay, so we don't really want to be nose down, so let's... There we go. Not quite got the trim sorted on this yet. Okay, so we're going to just fly out here a little bit. Just want to get another couple of camera angles set if I can. Right, so we've got this one. Let's go back a little bit and set this one. Fantastic. Right, okay, so that will be control 1. Now let's see if we can get inside the cockpit, because sometimes when you try and do this, not the cockpit, inside the cabin, look at those radials, they're fantastic, aren't they? Go through the cab and see if we can get set up and look out in one of the seats. Oh yeah, look, okay, that's good, isn't it? No, can't sit there, but we can sit there. Oh, don't know what that is. There we go. Fantastic. Okay. Right then, let's head over Dublin Bay. Now we've got a couple of different views to play with. Okay. Right, let's just have a little look, see if we can get another couple of views in. So what I want to try and do is get another one out the window, but looking at the rudders and stuff, or not the rudders, the flaperons, these ones. Don't know what that flickering is. There you go. Okay, now somewhere here I've got a recorder to record the landing as well, so we'll have a look at doing that. Let's get the nose up, because we were descending a little bit there. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that fantastic? Absolutely fantastic. Okay, so let's fire up the flight recorder. So we've got that ready for the landing. What's the image like on the stream? Is it okay if anybody's watching? We've got a couple of people watching. So, and the views, are they good? So we've got that view now, and we can look out the left-hand side. Where are we? Here we go. And we can look out at the flaps and ailerons. Look at that. There you go. Fantastic. That's what we need. Fantastic. Okay, right. So we're going to head across Dublin now. So what we can do is get another one of these views and get that out the back, and hopefully a kind of downward view. Hopefully we haven't got too many stutters or anything like that. So Dublin is looking mighty fine. I actually went to Dublin once. I went there for work, and we had to be in the city for about 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning, and honestly the place was deserted, and I asked somebody why it was deserted, and they said because everybody was drunk the night before. Oh, cheers, Philip. Thanks very much. Good to get the feedback. Okay, so we're going to have the airport just on our nose there now. So let's, we will climb a little bit, otherwise we're going to be a bit too low. Okay, so just under the nose, I'm going to try and fly over it, but the chances of it are pretty slim, is something called Ballymur Castle. Okay, let's have a look at, we can have a look at the bottom here now. So apparently there's a castle coming up underneath. Yeah, the heat looks really good, doesn't it? I mean, that's fantastic. It's such a brilliant effect. Okay, so somewhere here, what are we, about 2 miles ahead, is a castle. So we'll fly over the castle. So just off to the right now, apparently. So where's this castle then? Should be just off the right wing now, somewhere down there. I see no castle. Am I missing the castle? Okay, right, that's enough castles. Let's see if we can get back on the ground now. So we should have the airport just off to our right there, that should be easy enough to find when we make the turn. Right, okay, so coming around for the turn in a minute, we'll get the recorder on and see what this looks like coming into land. So we'll play that back as well. Sorry, don't worry, the screen just went blank, but don't worry about that, it comes back. Right, okay. Ooh, coal mine. Right, let's start getting geared up for landing then. So we know that the flaps are here, so we'll go flaps 1. I think we're going way too fast really for lowering the flaps. So there we go. So let's drop the engine RPM. And now we'll make a nice right hand turn. Keep the nose on the horizon. There we go. And round we go. So another stage of flap. Right, so just coming in to land at Dublin. There we go, there's the runway there. Right, so speed's good, 150. Do need to work on my kilometers an hour. Okay, so bring it round. Overshot the runway slightly, but we can fix that. Right, so I've got to remember to start the recording. Right, let's just get back over onto the centre line. Third stage of flap goes down. Oh, we can look out the window, can't we? There we go. So we are high, but that's okay. Nothing a bit of... Okay. Let's get on track and start the recording. So really not sure how. There we go. Runway's made. Really not sure what the profile is in the screen to land this, because I've got to land on the main wheels first and then drop the back wheels. Okay, so let's fly straight down the runway. Oh, that didn't sound great. And then we'll get the flaps away. There's something strange about that. Okay, so let's stop the recording and replay. Okay, now I haven't really got into doing this, so we're going to have to just play this a bit by ear. So we'll have one coming in like that and see how that looks. Okay, so coming in on the replay then. So definitely a bit of work needed to figure out the profile for landing this thing. Okay, so replay again. So now we'll come in looking out the radial engine. Looks great. I think like Philip Formby was saying, you know, it's fantastic seeing the heat coming off the engines. Okay, so we have got a couple of other views there. I'll tell you what, let's go with this view. Yeah, so basically I've got to drop the tail a bit sooner. Okay, so and we'll replay again. Let's get in the cockpit, and we can actually fly this a bit differently now. So let's get the flaps down, because I think I changed those. Have a look out the window. Yeah, we're good. Right, so let's try again. Okay, so according to the pappies, we're looking good. And wait to touch down. And got a rudder as soon as you get down with this puppy. Oh yeah, that's really difficult to steer. Yeah, so it's still not down. So I've got... Oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. That's... Oh, God. No, 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 no. It's right, these things are supposed to go on grass. They're more at home on grass than they are on concrete. Definitely. Right, let's just have a look at this, because I think this is trim. So it was basically on taxi, was going along. Let's put the handbrake on. Come out and have a look on the side. Look. So that's really strange. And you can see that I had... So that should be forcing the tail down. Now why? Could it be weight and balance? Let's have a look. So yeah, so we're a little bit nose heavy look there. So I wonder if that's it. So let's put on some fuel. Fuel, and do we need some baggage? I wonder if, yeah, so it's because probably passenger 3. Okay, let's put in a couple of 100. go. Okay. So why? Why? Okay, so do we fuel payload? Okay. Ah, that's the easy way to do it. Look. So pop the payload. Make it maybe just on the verge of being tail heavy. Let's go back. Okay, let's see if that flies any better now. So by adjusting the trim, look, the tail doesn't lift. So I think with this, you've got to make sure that you have some payload. Otherwise, it doesn't work that great at all. Right, let me just have a look, see where we are. Oh, God, look at that. Don't know what's happened there. Right, let's have a look. Right, is that the runway? I think it's the runway, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so let's taxi down there and get going again. So I think that was what my woes were. Feet brakes, toe brakes on. And I think because there was no weight and it was nose heavy. So now we've got some weight and the centre of gravity pushed back a bit. It might make a bit more sense and it might steer a bit better. Ah, look at that, look. It steers much better because there's weight on the tail wheel. This is all making sense now. This is making sense. Oh, okay, that's not great. Steers much better. Yeah. Okay. Oh no, no. What's happening now? Oh God. So I have to remember that when I'm in drone view to press C. I promise to improve if somebody's watching this. Yeah, I promise to improve. But like I said just now, they're made to go on the grass anyway, so. Right, okay, so now when I'm braking, look, it's not nosing forward. So that's because we've got the weight. Jolly good. Right, okay, so what we'll do. There we go. Right, now. Oh yeah, look, steers much better. So, okay. This is progress. Right, let's get on the centre line. And stop there. So, let me just have a look out. Set the trim. So we'll have the trim level. Okay. And full power. Okay. Full power. We're just looking out the side here to try and keep this picture the same. Oh, no. Oh. Ah, right, so yeah, so she's gone up on the two main wheels. I need to have a little bit of back pressure. And there she goes. That's so docile. Okay, let's see if we can stay parallel or on the runway heading. So we can just keep our runway here. And then climb. Okay, fantastic. So now what we're going to do is arc round and follow the river again. And is that the river down there? I think it might be. And so we took off. Let's just have a look at the airfields. Have we got a plate here for this? Dublin information. Okay, round we go. Follow the river. Oh yeah, look, there's another fuel gauge there as well. How fun. Bit of a passenger view there. Okay, and follow the river. Right, so now let's level off. And let the speed increase and throttle back. So I need to check these, but I'm going to throttle back to about 1900 RPM. I think that looks about right on all three. So I've got my throttle set up to work all three engines, and that seems to be working fine. Right, let's see if we can set up another... oh, look at that. Isn't that brilliant? See if we can come back a little bit on that. Okay, so we need to get ready to make our turn. So it's going to be a fairly steep turn, so we're going to throttle back a little bit, 2 stager flaps, and in fact, let's go full flap. There we go. So we're going to need to come around fairly tight here. Right, so we'll get the recorder going once we're straight in on the runway heading. And see if we can improve on the balance. Okay, we are full flap, aren't we? Yep, full flap. On the runway heading. So too high. That's right, we can fix that. Okay. Right, so what we want to do now is hopefully the weight distribution is better. Runway's made, power goes off. Kick it round a bit. Okay, so now I think we're still up. So we're steering on the rudder because the tail hasn't settled yet. That's the problem. There you go, the tail has settled now, I think. Let's go and have a look. Right, okay, so let's go to the replay and see what that looks like. So what we're trying to understand here is how, so when you come into land, you are steering on the rudder on the runway until the tail hits the ground. Of course you are, because it's a tail dragger. So let's just see how this... Okay, there we go. So slam it down onto the 2 wheels, the main undercarriage. Okay, that's fine. And now we're steering on the rudder until the tail wheel hits the ground. So there's not much leverage on the steering. So you have to be pretty sharp on that rudder. I don't know what happened there. We had a bit of a stumble on the recording. Yeah, look, you can see, so it's a long time before before the actual tail wheel hits the ground. Oh, that's no good. All right, so let's replay that again then. Okay, and then this time let's flaps down, check out the window. Oh dear, we've got someone else on final as well. We should go around here really. Let's have a look. What's he doing? I think we might just make it. Apologies. Right, so what we're going to do is drop. See if we can get the tail on the ground a bit quicker. We need more of a nose up attitude on the landing. Right, so flaps up then. Have we got enough? Probably could do a one stage of flap, actually, see if we can get off the ground again. Come on. Oh, I know what's wrong here. There we go. I was still flying the replay. Goodness me. Right, so we go to the end here and turn around and then take off again. And so that's the thing to remember, is what this view looks like, and then you can hopefully. Ah, hang on, we've got a runway here. Look, let's go for this one. How did that take off so quickly? I think there's something a little bit wrong with the flight model there. It just like drifted off like a balloon. Very strange. Right, we'll take it around one more time and land, and then we'll call it a day there. But this is good. It's a nice piece of kit. It's good fun to fly. I think there's something a little bit amiss with the way it takes off so quickly. But anyway. So there's the airport there. Okay, so let's get the attitude right. Power back. And trim. That's good. Right, let's bring it round. And we'll follow the river again. And this will be our last landing, and then we'll taxi to the terminal. Almost like it's real. But I'm going to have a go at trying to learn how to fly this thing properly. So if you are watching, don't forget to subscribe, just in case I try and have another go at this again and try and stream it. So that would be great if you come along for that. Oh, I think I had some Irish music lined up somewhere, so we should probably have that as well. Okay, so we turn on to final just shortly. Flaps. So we are already. So I didn't lift the flaps. Look, so they're still down. That's handy, I suppose. One thing less to do. And right, round we go. Some nice Irish music to come into land with. Lose a bit of height fairly quickly here. Okay, so we'll record this again and do a little bit of a review of it. Okay, so stable-ish. Okay, so get the nose up, and let's see if we can just let the weight of the aircraft drop us down onto the runway, which is probably nose up. Look, nose up, stall it onto the runway, and then we should get all three wheels. There we go, that's much better. So I've got steering now, so that's really what we're looking to try and get. So let's stop recording there and replay. Right, so let's have a look at this. Much more of a nose up angle, and try and get, you know, pretty much as close as I can on three wheels onto the runway at the same time. Might try for the centre line next time though. There you go, so that's much less tail up. Okay, so I'm going to do the replay again and just try and land it again and record it. There we go. Right, so now let's try that again. See if we can get a bit better on the centre line. There we go. Power goes off. Nose up and just let the aircraft drop. Drop, drop, drop. Nose up. Back on the rudder. Oh, that felt like it was a tail. Okay, let's stop that, have another look, and replay. Okay, let's see what this profile's like. And then we'll do one more and then taxi straight to the terminal. That looks a bit better. Yeah, so it's about getting that nose up, isn't it? That was fine, actually. Okay. Yeah, that's not quite so good. It happens when you're doing the replay. It's hard to see where you're actually going. Right, okay, so what we want to do is to have a look and see if we can taxi over to the terminal and park up. I think we can follow this one straight across. Let's lift the flaps. And just taxi up and park up. So that's on tick over that this is moving at the moment. A bit of gentle braking there. To remember with a tail dragger to turn a little bit earlier, I guess. Right, okay. And drop off our probably very sick feeling passengers. There's nowhere to park. Oh, down the end there, look. That'll do. I don't think they'll be putting the walkway out for this one. Right, so let's just put the brakes on a little bit. And there you go, that just about does it. And pop the parking brake on, come back on the throttle and the mixtures as well, and they probably will stop. There you go. Well, for anybody that come along, look, thanks so much for coming along for flight. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm going to try and do a few more of these things and see if we can get this thing flying from cold and start. And anyway, thanks very much, and hope you enjoyed it.